Under the stars of Luxor, the magic of the Henna celebration. In the ancient city of Luxor, where the whispers of the temples still embraced the Nile River, a Henna celebration was taking place. It was a night of a waxing moon, in which the sky seemed to contemplate from above the joys and hopes of those gathered. Asmahan, Layla and Karim's friend, was about to get married. The tradition was preparing to weave the magic of a new union, and the city adorned itself with the echoes of ancient customs that resisted the passage of time, like the stones that held the stories of pharaohs and queens. Layla and Karim had been invited to the celebration. He, the narrator of these memories, still feels the fragrance of orange blossoms and the warmth of incense perfuming the air, taking him back to that night that would forever remain alive in his memories. The ceremony was divided into two spaces as tradition dictated. The women, wrapped in their silk galabeyas, laughed and danced under a canopy decorated with lanterns reflecting golden star-like lights on the ancient stone floor. The colors of their garments mingled with the sounds of laughter, songs, and soft drums that seemed to emulate the very heartbeat of the Nile. Layla, wrapped in a blue kaftan embroidered with gold, appeared like an ethereal vision among Asmahan's friends. Her dark eyes reflected joy, and her smile, illuminated by the warm light of the candles, intertwined with the happiness of the night. In a neighboring space, under an open sky adorned with palm shadows, the men gathered around a sacred fire, sharing stories and rituals of union. There, the silver moon guided the movements of their dances. To the rhythm of the tabla and darbuka, the dust of the ground rose, and the echo of the drums faded into the horizon. Each beat resonated like an ancient heartbeat, evoking the mystery of the past when Luxor was Thebes and the gods still walked its streets. Among them, Karim, wrapped in a light tunic, observed the fire's reflection on the faces of the men as they exchanged smiles and words that only the wind dared to carry. While Layla and the other women applied henna to their hands, Asmahan's mother, with eyes full of tenderness, drew delicate arabesques on her daughter's palms while telling her stories of true love and perseverance. For them, henna was not just an ornament but a bridge between generations, a bond between the dreams of the young and the wisdom of those who had already walked the path of love. Karim imagined the whispers in the other space, ancient words weaving destinies and marking the lines of the future. At the celebration, the instruments resonated like waves caressing the shore. Layla and her friends sang songs that spoke of love's blossoming in the midst of deserts, of moons igniting infinite nights, and of the blessing of finding a companion in the vastness of time. Meanwhile, the men shared strong, frothy coffee, exchanging glances that reflected respect and admiration for their wives and sisters, those women who, although not present in their space, were always the soul of their hearts. In the distance, Asmahan, with her hands covered in henna and her face adorned with tears of joy, watched her mother with gratitude. The pattern on her hands was not merely decorative, it was a map of promises and hopes merging in the blessings of those present. The grandmother, a woman who had known times of challenge and love, approached to whisper to her, laden with eternity, "Just as the Nile flows, my daughter, so must your love flow, gentle and constant." As the night progressed, the separated spaces of men and women united in a single melody. Though the bodies remained in different places, the hearts danced together to the rhythm of the same music. In Luxor, that land of mystery, values and traditions stood as a beacon in the storm of modernity. People still believed in authentic love, in the union of two souls that fully surrendered to each other, just as the river submits to its course. Amidst it all, Karim watched Layla from a distance, seeing her approach to bid farewell to Asmahan before leaving. He admired her strength and sweetness, the purity of her smile, which was a reflection of the moonlight. Their eyes met, and in that instant, he understood that true traditions were not the rigid rules of the past but the sincere emotions that, despite the centuries, continued to beat with the same intensity. The Henna celebration was a reminder that in Luxor, where the past mingles with the present, there was still room for hope, respect, and devotion. That night, Layla and Karim were not only witnesses to a rite, they became part of it, part of a love that, like the ancient stones of the temples, would withstand the passage of time. The wind of the Nile whispered promises in the darkness, and beneath the mantle of stars, they knew that true love is like henna. It marks the skin and the soul, leaving an eternal imprint.